So welcome everybody to the Premier League Cricket Show, and it is match week 4 that we're going to be talking about. Now, remember last week? Southwest of England rain caused massive problems. Guess what? It's the opposite end of the country. Northeast wiped out up there. North Yorkshire, South Durham, they didn't have a good time. And even as far south as Leeds, there were games that were abandoned and got a bit messy. But thankfully, didn't affect the weekend when it came to Sunday's big day and the ECB National Club Championship, which we'll touch on, I'm sure, during the show. As always with me, Mr. Can't work. I've got a full of cold. Mr. Hugh. I'm full of cold.
It still doesn't mean you can't pronounce my name. You just pronounce it differently. But
Mr. Hugh Newsom, the man with all the stats, who, as always, has given me the details of the 59,986 runs scored this weekend. We're almost at 60,000, and a great weekend's cricket generally down south, wasn't it, Hugh?
Oh, it's a lot of fun, yeah. I mean, we've got 54 centuries and only 45 or so. It shows you there's been a batting weekend. But I think possibly the more bowling heavy leagues got a bit wet, didn't they? So the batting leagues down south. It certainly was a split in the country, and it's basically a split in Derbyshire. I went about 3 miles south of us, and it was gorgeous. It was just about okay where we played, and then a bit north of us, especially towards Buxton and north, was off. So it was a real split the weather, but we got a game in, so that was fine. Blackpool possibly wishing they didn't get a game in on Sunday, didn't they, Matt?
Yeah, well, I was going to say that I spent all of Saturday on the sofa because I'm full of that bloody cough and cold that my missus has had. And I think Mr. Taaffe, who joins us from Cric, probably wishes he'd spent the weekend on the sofa, don't you, Matt?
Yeah, it was a disastrous weekend. More so on Sunday, was hoping for a bit of a run in the National. That ended. So it's Lancs Cup and the league to concentrate on.
Well, you had a run in the National because you had a drive out to Prestwich, so you had a nice run out there.
Yeah, first time I've been there. It was busy. Like you say, 130 plays 65, low scoring. They probably let them off 30 runs. So it could have been 100 plays 65. So
wow.
They look a good outfit, and I'm sure they'll have a decent run next. I think it's Kendall or Garsang they've got from our league next up. So I've not checked their results.
You've got the honour of the lowest team score in the ECB National Club Championship at the weekend, 65. So congratulations.
Yeah. Quite comfortably the lowest team score at the end as well, but we won't come to that, definitely. Hey, there was some great cricket on Saturday, though. We will talk Nationals later, but there was some great cricket on Saturday, and most importantly, 7 leagues that got underway down in the southeast. They all got a full programme and they all got plenty of games and stuff going on. So let's start right at the very top of that southern base, shall we, Hugh? And let's talk about the Hertfordshire League, where one of the biggest games of the day there was the most runs scored in the entire country was at Potters Bar versus Broxbourne. 376 plays 354. Some game that, mate, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you've got Potters Bar boasting 376 for 5 in their 50, and then Broxbourne had a real good go. I mean, they fell well short in the end, but well short is still 354. So Thorne Park's 176 not out was rather useful runs. Broxbourne, nobody really contributed in a massive style, but you had just running down this, we got at least 350s. Just looking at the card here. 45, 56, 36, 40, 69, 17, 8, 38 and 20. So everybody pretty much is chipping in. Nobody's just managed to go big and quickly enough. But Ralph McMillan, 69 from 48 with a great effort there. Ed Hales, 45 from 24, really giving it a go. So it was a really good game of cricket that maybe didn't quite end as closely as it would have liked to have done. But yeah, top effort from Broxbourne to try and chase that down, but a good win for Potters Bar.
Absolutely. I think at the top of the list, we've got another big score, but this one, it was a bit of a walkover for Harpenden over Old Owens, wasn't it?
Yeah, Old Owens rolled out for 160, chasing another big 362. Ollie Batchelor, 128. Chris Swanson, 122, not out. Did all the damage. And then, Old Owens didn't get close, but wickets shared around. Sam Cullerline 2 for 18, Ben Fraser 2 for 19, Alex Gosling 2 for 25. amongst the bowlers. And then the other one that wasn't particularly close, there was a few that weren't particularly close. West Hearts put up 334 off their 50. Zayed Fazal 90, Cole Segaree 74, and then Totteridge Mill Hillians bowled out for 65. So Matt can attest to that kind of score. Adam Rossington 18 was the top scorer. So you hope for a few more than him. But Cameron Khan 7 for 19 off just 5 overs. Did all the damage. So congratulations to Cameron Khan there for a match-winning performance from him.
Cameron Khan, the 7 for 19 from Cameron Khan being the best bowling across the country in the Premier Leagues over the weekend as well. So you got Thorne Parks at Potters Bar with the second highest score in the batters, and Cameron Khan with the most number of wickets. Just shows what a bit of a topsy-turvy day was in the Hertfordshire League there, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. And the other sort of lopsided game there was Bishop Stortford bowled out for 94. And Flitwick getting it for 3 down in 16 overs. So, yeah, Oscar Phillips 4 for 24, Jake Tarling 3 for 35, Ewan Palmer 2 for 27. Did the damage for Flitwick, and who got the comfortable win. So yeah, it's a bit of a lopsided weekend. It's another relatively close one, but it still wasn't massively close. It was Radlett posting 296, Lloyd Paternotte with 91, and Hartford bowled out in their 50 for 261. But Will Ray got 100 for them. But yeah, it wasn't close. But Archie Harrison of Derbyshire fame, 3 for 51 with his bowling. I think he averaged about 50 last year as well. So he's started really well for them.
Absolutely. I think it's a tale of two teams that got promoted there, isn't it? Where Broxbourne pushed Potters Bar almost to the very, 376 for Potters Bar. Broxbourne almost got there, whereas Old Owens, you've been promoted. Where do you get sent? Harpenden, the champions, on the first day of the season. You get smacked for 362, and getting bowled out for 160 there. Then it's no embarrassment in the slightest at the champions, is it?
No, you're in the game, aren't you? You just it's not. You're not. Sorry, not you aren't in the game, but you're in the season. You've got some runs on the board, and they'll take that and go again next week, won't they?
Yeah, it's so interesting how you can have so many scores over 300, and then you got a bowled out for 65. You got a bowled out for straight. That was a strange opening day for the Hertfordshire League, to say the least.
Yeah, lopsided. Yeah, let's hope it gets a bit closer.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, let's go down to, let's call it, shall we, one of the real bigwigs when it comes to the leagues in the country. The Surrey Cricket Championship, the Surrey Premier League, where there's been quite a lot of movement over the winter in terms of players being brought in. Some really interesting signings across many clubs. But I'm going to start at a game which I thought was going to be a little bit lopsided, but actually ended up being really close, which was the Esher versus Ashton game, thank you.
Esher 231 all out off 48 overs, and then Ashton got it 8 down with a few balls left. So it was a really good game of cricket. Nobody managing to do much more than get a 50 with the bat. We've got Laurie Evans 53 off 76 for Esher. Alex Chambers with 46, but then Connor Young and Lockie Stackpole 53 and 51 respectively. Connor's sort of anchored the innings there with a slow 53, but it's been vital because he's got his team over the line there. And it was a very interesting game. Sam Hunt 4 for 35. He's Stackpole with 4 for 34 and his 50. So that's a very good first league game for him. Kiwi under 19 international. He's only 21, so he's going to be one to watch. He's playing for Auckland through the winter and going very well there. 172 not out for Auckland not too long ago. So I think he's going to be one to watch.
Yeah, most definitely. I think that game for me, I was in touch with Dylan Church of Ashted, who's moved to Ashted over the winter, just before the game. And, he said, you look at that Esher side that had been announced, it was a bit of an all-star 11 with Travis Norris, Nikhil Garantler, Nicholas Spitt, Laurie Evans in there, Seb Allison, who's moved into that area as well, a couple of NWCA players. They're really throwing some heavyweights at there. But it didn't actually come off for Esher there. But moving to another NWCA player who also moved this winter and got off to a great start personally. Guildford versus East Moseley. Finn Gordon, back from Australia, 100 on league debut for Guildford, but not enough to beat East Moseley in an absolute thriller there, Hugh.
Yeah, East Moseley, 295 for 9, and then they batted first, put up the 295 for 9, and then Guildford fell 1 run short with a wicket off the last ball, I believe. Is that right?
Oh, so with a run out off the last ball, yes.
Well, wide and a run out. Bit of carnage off the last ball.
Trying to hang on. Let's work this one out. It was a wicket and a run.
No, so they were going for the second, were they? They were going for the second. There we go. Yeah, I always confused me when all that's going on. It's quite entertaining. Last over 2 wide, 6, 1, 1, 4, and then a wicket with a run out. Yeah, wicket plus 1 off the last ball. So 17 runs came off it, and they needed 19 to win. Did Guildford, but yeah, really entertaining game, and they made a real fist of that final over to get over. But yeah, Finn Gordon 100 off 120, Sam Budge, Clyde Reeves Fontaine 68, Tom Cullen 62, Oliver Burt's 4 for 43 for Guildford, Toby Crowford 3 for 66 for East Moseley. Were the pick of the bowlers and the batters.
Great game that was, without a shadow of doubt. Looking across the rest of the Surrey League, some great names turning out. Jaden Brudrig scoring 89 for Sutton, but it wasn't enough. Which was enough to beat Wimbledon on first day of the season, who included Dane Villas in there. If you want to take us through that lot, Hugh.
Yeah, it was Sutton batted first. They put up 232. And then they needed to bowl Wimbledon out because they were heading in the right direction. But Wimbledon just lost. They were going all right, and they were 215 for 7 with 5 overs to go. And then in the 45th over, they lost 2 quick wickets. And then lost the last wicket. Jones lower got George Jackson got the final wicket, bowling Amari Jones lowers out for a duck. But in a really, really tight finish. Wimbledon falling just 8 runs, 9 runs for the win, short, but with plenty of time left in the match. So yeah, they'll be a bit disappointed with how they finished that.
I think Banstead, Reigate, Priory looked a relatively simple one there for Reigate in the end.
Yeah, Reigate 270 for 7, Richard Oliver 103, George Elam 53, and then Banstead bowled out for 203 with Tommy Elam 4 for 31. So the Elam brothers doing the damage. Ralphie Albert popped up. We heard a lot about him for Surrey last year, one of the youngest players to play for Surrey last year. He's popped up for Banstead. He got 59 off 47, so watch this space. Is he 18? I think he's 18. So he's going to be one too. Hopefully, if he's playing plenty of Premier League cricket through the winter, through the summer, that'll be fantastic to watch because he's certainly made a name for himself already. Just jumping to the final game, I think we've got is Normandy Spencer. Normandy bowled out for 122. Jackson Saggers 5 for 30, doing most of the damage there. Spencer knocked it off in 17 overs very comfortably. Hugo Darby 34 and Harry Stothard 30 with the main contributors there.
Yeah, and very much like the Hertfordshire League there, the 2 promoted sides, Guildford and Normandy, having completely different types of day. Guildford pushing East Moseley really tight there, whereas Normandy, they've come in there, bowled out 32 overs, and then the 123 for 3 from Spencer, just in 17, almost 18 overs. They've not messed about there. They've had an early finish, and the game's lasted 50 overs in total. So not the way you want to start your campaign, really, is it?
No, but it's early days, isn't it? So
I'm
all for. I think just promoted teams. It's always isn't always difficult, but it can be very difficult. So I think you just want to get going and get into the league and get some game time under your belt and then see where you go. There's no point worrying too much about the first round of games, is there?
I think what's really reassuring in the Surrey League, we saw this last year, but it looks even bigger this year. There's a lot of youngsters coming through there. When you look at the likes of Dylan Church down at Guildford, Finn Gordon down at Guildford, Dylan Church there, you've got Ralphie Albert. They're not afraid to put these youngsters into what is a top class set of fixtures.
Yeah, it helps when Surrey have 8,000 players on their books, doesn't it? So it means that they can spread a few around. So I'm not jealous at all.
Absolutely, and that's normally me who says it this week.
That one to come.
Yeah, it was Mr. Newsom, not me this week, definitely. So, do you notice he's lowered it to 8,000? Because I normally say 80,000. So,
yeah, right.
He's trying to get on the side of the boys down there. let's talk about what the Cric boys have been up to, Mr. Taaffe. You've actually got quite a lot of players in the country now. I know there's still one or two still to arrive, and I did hear of a pro at the weekend who's not arriving till week 5, which is, why do you even bother bringing him in for week 5? What have your boys been doing with the bat?
Yeah, so obviously we're covering both UK and EU. Ashwin Heber was at, is it Royal Wootton Bassett last year?
Yeah.
He's had a T20 100 on Thursday off 50 balls, and then he picked up 207 not out of 140 on Saturday in the league. So pretty decent weekend for him. There's an Indian absolute run machine playing for Women Staffs, 154 not out. That's his 3rd unbeaten century in a row. So I don't know how many he's actually going to score this year, but I think it'll be a lot. Will Clark, 126 for Bromley Common. Hundreds from J. Hugh Anderson. That's his back-to-back hundreds for him. And yeah, there's an awful lot of 90s actually, but I won't bore you with the details on that one. But yeah, majority of the pros here. Like you say, there is a couple still lingering. But yeah, it's into the thick of it now. 12th of May. Most people started. Everyone's here, and let's see how they shape up this summer.
Absolutely. It's great to see Jehu Anderson back again. He was a little superstar at the Cric game last year at Bishop Stortford, and he's back with a bang straight away. And I was talking to a couple of guys yesterday about this little Indian fella playing at Wem, and the word on the street is, will he get out all season?
Well, he dropped me a message, I think it was Monday, and he was like, can you find out the league records and this and that. So I think he's going for it. He does leave for 3 weeks, obviously, for this Premier League that happens. So will he get out? I generally don't know. He put a video on his Instagram in the nets, and he sent it to all parts. No, it's the nets, but he's backing it up. But yeah, interested to see how we'll go, whether it'll be a 1,500 run year or more. Who knows?
Big shout early doors.
He's not far. 400 runs already in 3 games.
I had an ex-county cricketer absolutely calling him all kinds of quality things yesterday. That's good enough for me straight away. We've got a really dodgy link with Mr. Taaffe today, so we're going to jump straight in to his bowlers and let us know what's been going on with the Cric bowlers. Then we can let him go, because we know that, as always with Cric, there's a deal to be done somewhere.
Touch wood. Plenty of 5%. I think we've had 12 or 13 in total. Jacob Cumming, Kiwi for Beverley Town. He's picked up 6 for 10. He tops the charts. Like I say, there's Nishan Perez at Exton, 5 for him. 2nd game back. Plenty knocking about. Senash Fernando, 5 for a young Zimbabwean definite. Mawadzi at North Devon, replacing Roshan Lakmal. He got 5 for a 90 not out this weekend, so he's staked his claim nice and well. Hashan Damundi for Tong, another 5 for him. He just continues to perform year on year. Nisala Tharaka, 5 for Keswick. Yeah, some big names, some big bowlers, all chipping in. So again, another good weekend with the ball.
Now, we can't let you go without asking, in terms of weekends, how bad was that for you?
It wasn't good. I thought 200 on the board on Saturday was enough. We didn't bowl very well. Didn't really get any rub of the green. Balls was going in the air and landing 40 yards instead of 30 and going to hand. So it could have been a different game, but there's no real excuses. We didn't really back up with the runs on the board. And then Sunday was just a disaster, really. One of them days that you just try and forget about quickly, because we've got a double header again this weekend. So, but yeah, it was good out. Prestwick's a good outfit, and see where they end up. And no doubt it'll be a regional final against Northern Ormskirk, like it usually is up this way. But yeah, it was a disastrous weekend. Not good after the highest of highs. Yeah, previous week to then this week.
Well, it will be interesting to see if the boys up at Kendal, Freddie Fallows, etc., give you a call and see what they think of Prestwich, because that's where they are playing next.
Yeah, where's it at? Is it at Prestwich or is it at Kendal?
At Prestwich.
Yeah, well, yeah, tough hybrid pitch. Get on the front foot.
The problem Kendal might have is if it's an NCCA day, they'll have players playing for Cumbria. Always makes it more difficult, doesn't it?
Yeah, is it that bank holiday Sunday, the next batch?
No, it's the 31st. Hey, as I say, we've got a lousy connection with Taaffe today, so we're going to let him go. Obviously, the internet in Blackpool is recovering from the crap that they went through at Prestwich on Sunday. So we're going to let him go and do some deals, and we'll catch up with him later.
Right, see you later.
Cheers, Matt.
Thanks to Taaffe at Cric. We've let him go now, and we're going to get talking about one of the Premier Leagues that go in at the weekend again, down at the home counties. Now, a lot of those clubs have been playing in their T20 tournament the week before and getting things moving for everyone, but they're back to 50 over cricket, and I've got to start at the top of the list. Finchampstead, 430 for 7, Hugh.
Yeah, painful. And it's sort of a team effort as well. Everybody's sort of had a good dig in, haven't they? 430 for 7, batting first. Greg Smith's got 100 off just 68 balls. I'm just running through the scorecard in detail here, but we've got 79, 28, 100, 62, 60. Ethan Ramsey's feeling sorry for himself with 8, and then Dan Miles has got 49 as well off just 24. So yeah, it was a bruising encounter for Henley. Henley somewhat demoralised, I suspect, by conceding 430. Petered out to 145 all out. Matt Dalrymple got 37, but nobody else particularly troubled the scorers. And Liam Dudding, 3 for 48. James Woodford with a cheeky 2 for 2 for Finchampstead, popping up with 1 over to get the job done. So yeah, a comfortable win, shall we say?
Yeah, and I think I'll bring it up now because I noticed it before we even started on this one. One of the really weird things about the home counties division at the weekend was there's 1 or 2 big scores. There was only 1 ton in the end with Greg Smith from Finchampstead, and not a single fifer across the 5 games either. Let's look at last year's champions, High Wycombe, at the bottom of our list there. They went and had their first game against Banbury. It's fair to say they took the points quite comfortably, didn't they?
Yeah, and you talk about fifers there, but somebody didn't get a fifer, did they? I wonder
why I might have mentioned it.
Yeah, I was wondering that. Yeah, Connor Haddo, 4 for 44. I reckon he's had more 4 for 44s than any other Premier League cricket in history. I reckon he's had 2 or 3 4 for 44s. But yeah, High Wycombe 260 for 7 in there, 50. Pardo with 62. Billy Dodds 50 off 87 balls, and then Banbury. I mean, they weren't miles away, but they were a reasonable distance away. Bowled out for 180. In 40 overs. Hayden Russo, 61, but nobody else has particularly got going. And there's Connor with his 4 for 44. So yeah.
What doesn't help there with Banbury, what doesn't help is when you're overseas, Sam Fanning gets out on a golden duck. Yeah,
that hurts. It's nice to see Sam Fanning in the country though. I wasn't quite sure whether he was going to end up getting called up to some national squad or something along those lines, because he is an absolute top player. So yeah, I'm sure he'll do better than Golden Ducks for the rest of the season. But you're a bit disappointed if your main man's walking off the park after 1 ball. So but yeah, Harefield had a pretty comfortable win over Wokingham. Harefield 275 for 9 in their 50. Lee Tyrrell 71 not out of just 37. Was damaging and probably the difference maker in the game there, because Wokingham 230 all out off 45 overs. That quick 70 from Lee is really accelerated Hairfield's total towards the win. Stephen Croft 3 for 48. Jordan McLeod 2 for 39 with the balls for Harefield. Ian Mearden 3 for 62 for Wokingham. But yeah, it's a comfortable win there. And then Aston Rowan put up 3-2-2 for 7, but it wasn't enough. Slough chased it down with an over to go. Ethan Barksfield 75, Ben Robinson 67, and Luke Hayes 63 for Aston Rowan. But Syed Khan 69 and Mutaba Gayas 80 off 78 balls got the job done for Slough. It was a really exciting game. The Great Brickhill Oxford Downs game we've touched on. We touched on that one. No, sorry. Great Brickhill, Oxford Downs. Great Brickhill bowled out for 210. Reece Nicholas 96 was the crucial innings in the match. Oxford Downs bowled out for 159 in just 31 overs. So, they're probably on course, but lost a few too many wickets. Louis Delport with 30 off 15 balls, trying to get things sped along. But Matt Warner with 50 was best for Oxford Downs. Kieran Patel 3 for 18. for Great Brickhill and Oxford Downs. Henry Welch got 3 for 24 in that game. So that's the roundup of that.
Absolutely. I think Oxford Downs in particular will be quite disappointed there. Came second in the league last year and going down quite comfortably, as you say, to Great Brickhill. But I think the ones to watch there, we know High Wycombe are going to be strong all the way through the season. But Finch Hampstead, to score 430 on day one of the season, you are putting a marker down there, aren't you? To really have a good go at that. And they've obviously got runs to play with left, right, and centre. When they come up against High Wycombe or when they come up against Banbury and Sam Fanning in form, that's a different ball game altogether, isn't it?
That's it, yeah. And you've got Sam Sicharan. I can never pronounce his surname, but I think it's Sam Sicharan. Notts contracted player. He's played plenty of Premier League cricket now. Was at Dulwich last year, moved down there. So if he can get going, I suspect he's not going to see a huge amount of first team action at Notts. So he's going to be a really, really useful signing through the summer.
Absolutely. Going to move to the Middlesex League now, Hugh. And before we talk about the Middlesex League on the Saturday, I've just got to bring up something that was brought to my attention on the Sunday. These are the stories that we love to put out there. We try to get everything as we possibly can from around the country, but you're always going to miss one or two. So Salman Ali dropped me a line on Sunday night to tell me that Hornsey, who progressed in the National Club Championship on Sunday, they beat Peterborough Town, which is a big win. They had, and we're not sure if this is a record, they had a female playing for them in their first team on the Sunday. She scored 8 not out and took 1 for 33. Shivani Mehta playing in the National Club Championship round 1. Now, I'm going to write to Aaron to find out if that is a new record, but congratulations to Shivani on doing that. We know that cricket at this level can be mixed all the way through to Premier League, but how great to see them actually making an impact as well, Hugh.
Well, absolutely. I mean, and I think we have this sort of progress in the women's game, but I think there's a bit of a debate where actually with the women's game diverging slightly from the men's game, that actually girls, not necessarily getting the opportunity to come up and play against men and gain that experience. Girls, having a daughter myself, they don't particularly enjoy playing with the boys and necessarily against the boys, but it makes for a potentially tougher contest. So to see women competing at Premier League level, and ECB National Championship level is absolutely brilliant, and it can only be beneficial for the women's game. 100%. Hopefully, we see more of this and girls that are able to hit that standard, because we want to produce as many great women players as possible, and playing at the highest level possible is crucial. And hopefully, she can kick on.
As I say to everyone, I don't see males, I don't see females, I just see cricketers. We want to see, if we've got the best cricketers in the country playing in the ECB National Club Championship and half of them are female and half of them are male, so what? It doesn't really matter. If we get that quality on the pitch, that's what excites us, isn't it?
That's it. And I just think the women's game in this country needs that impetus of just raising the levels, because the danger is that if actually they stick to women's only cricket, then potentially the levels don't necessarily get raised. And I think both sides, men and women, can learn from each other, can't they?
Absolutely.
It's slightly different approaches to the game. So really good.
We'll talk about Hornsey in the Middlesex League on Saturday shortly, but we'll start at the very top. And I've got a message for the incoming head coach of Crouch End. Don't think they need you, Tom. Scholes is going to be with them very shortly, but 379 for 4, beating the champions North Middlesex quite comfortably there for Crouch End.
Yes, it was a rather lopsided game in the end. I mean, when you put 300 on the board, you're feeling pretty comfortable, but when you're chasing 380, you're not very happy about it. So, Crouch End 379 for 4 in 50 overs. William Burridge 157. Atharava Prasad 104 off 121, and Natim Hassam 52 not out off just 30. Did the damage for Crouch End. North Middlesex, I mean, they still put 300 on the board. Jacob Miltz 88, Ben Lockrose 60, and Mohammed Rizvi 56, but yeah, it wasn't enough. Mohamed Rizvi got a wicket as well, but went for 85 in his 10. Adam Jones was the only one to sort of do reasonably well. He got 2 for 52 off his 10. Sorry, Andrew Jones, not Adam. And Natim Hassan 5 for 49 was probably the match-winning contribution with the ball to go with William Burridge with the bat.
Absolutely. Great start for Crouch End. Scholes will be with them in a couple of weeks' time, and he's going to join us on the Overthrow in the next couple of weeks to talk about his tour. Tom Scollay from Cricket Mentoring, back in the UK. He's here for about 3 months. He must be a glutton for weather punishment, all I'll say. But he's going to be all over the UK. It'd be great to see him around the UK, around clubs.
Yeah,
Further down,
cold in Perth in winter though. It's
absolutely
cold. The houses aren't built properly, so it's freezing. So I don't blame it.
Further elsewhere in the Middlesex League, Teddington, they've brought in a hell of a lot of players this year. One of the most sort of active in the market against Shepherd's Bush. Teddington won. No complaints there then for them.
Shepherd's Bush batting first, 229 all out in 49.2 overs. Mitchell Crean, 120 off just 115 balls, was a great effort there, but he didn't get a huge amount of help. Andrew Brewster, 4 for 18 for Teddington. And then, Jack Attenborough, 85. Aaron Amin with 60. And Teddington got there reasonably comfortably. It's a bit of an odd scorecard, though. Just looking at the Teddington scorecard, Jack Attenborough every ball out for 18, Aaron Amin with 60, but they've got 22 extras help, and then a few people chipping in with 10s and 16s and so forth to get them over the line. But it was an interesting day out for Teddington. And Henry Blofeld, one of our most favouritely named cricket bowlers, with 2 for 41 for Shepherd's Bush, but it wasn't enough.
Yep. And then Hornsey, as I say, we've already talked about their exploits on the Sunday, but on the Saturday they got the season off to a win with a nice win over Stanmore. We've got Henry Blofeld playing in one game. We've got Patrick Moore playing for Hornsey, scoring 35 off 42. But Tom White with his 81 was the key to that one. And I'm going to look at across the other side and say it's the wickets taken by Nai Amar Olanu. 4 for 53. That's a new name to me, without a shadow. And that was quite a comfortable win for Hornsey there in that game. What about the promoted side, Finchley there, Hugh?
Promoted side, Finchley, Finchley bowled out for 156 in 39 overs. Chetan Sharma, 48 off 81 balls. Matt McGowan, 37, but it wasn't enough. They were chasing Richmond's 245. For 8, Ben Middlemass got 81, Zach Crawley 41. Sebastian, I'm going to struggle with this surname. Sebastian Fezuka Hatchett, possibly 4 for 45 for Finchley, with a great first dig from him. But it wasn't enough to keep Richmond to a manageable total, and Finchley weren't able to get there. And then just to jump into the final game, Ely had a very comfortable win against Twickenham. Twickenham bowled out for 167 in 40 overs. Ealing got 265 for 8. Mungo Russell with 38 top scoring. So it very much was a team affair across the board. Just running through that scorecard, looking at Ealing's table, we got 25, 33, 23, 21, 5. Disappointing. Rian Hussain. Pointed in, yet everyone else 20s and 30s, 29, 21, 38, 37, and then 30 not out for Harry Stowe. So that was the epitome of a team effort. For Ealing. Shows you that depth counts in the Premier Leagues. Twickenham weren't able to replicate that. Tom Marshall, 4 for 19 for Ealing, was the pick of the bowls.
Yeah, remarkable scorecard, that Ealing one, isn't it? I had to look and check that we had it right. No one with more than 38, when you score 265.
That's it. You put up 265 in 50 overs. Yeah, nobody get more than 30. It's remarkable. It's a rare scorecard. It's the scorecard that makes teams happy, because everybody's had a go. If that was a junior game, everyone would be coming off feeling pretty smug for themselves. Nobody's being grumpy because they haven't had a dig when everyone else has had a good innings. So nice effort.
Hang on. Spare a thought for Alim Danani. He didn't get a bat for Ealing, and when he bowled, he bowled 5 overs, 0 for 30 as well. So he's the one who unfortunately didn't get to have the day. But
everybody should be buying him a drink.
Absolutely, 100%. Jug of avoidance across the bloody board for everyone there. We're not get to 40. So
collective team avoidance.
Even further south then to the Kent League. The Kent League is really interesting league for me, because I'm not sure I reckon there's 5 or 6 teams could win this year. And when you look at the scorecards and how the games have gone, it tells you that straight away. I'm going to start at the very top. Sorry, I'm going to start at the very bottom with the high scoring game.
I was going to start there. Yeah, I was going to start there.
I'm going to start at the very bottom with that high scoring game there, Hugh, with Sevenoaks Fine, who've been promoted back to the Premier League against Tunbridge Wells. I mean, that's a big game there, isn't it?
Yeah, and this is someone I didn't think was still playing cricket. Because Nick Compton's got 147 off 123 balls. Now, Nick Compton is probably one of England's maybe lost prospects, wasn't it? I mean, he did play Test cricket and he played a lot of county cricket, but you kind of feel like there was a lot more to come from Nick Compton. He was a fantastic player, and I didn't even realise he was playing. He did some commentating. I think he might have written a few books. He's certainly an engaging character, and it's great to see that he's still playing. I just didn't realise he obviously was playing in Div 1 last year in passers-by. So for him to pop up on my scorecard this weekend just made me happy. And 147 or 123 shows that he can still play and has got a lot to give. So unfortunately for Sevenoaks Fine with Nick Compton getting us on the 4-7, it wasn't enough. Tunbridge Wells 330 for 8 in their 50, and Sevenoaks Fine couldn't get there. But a great start nonetheless for them. Nick just needed a little bit more help. Chris Vernon chipped in with 42, Henry Proctor with a quick 29, but nobody else really able to go with him. Chris Williams and Alexander Williams. Chris Williams with 150 and Alexander Williams with 36, and Drew Beasley with 32 with the difference makers. Harry Bevan Thomas, Sevenoaks Fine with 3 for 60, and Danru Ferns 3 for 46 for Tunbridge. So good start for Sevenoaks Fine. I'll be happy with that, and lovely to see Nick Compton in the game.
Yeah, most definitely. It's great to see another England opener doing really well, but this time in Premier League cricket and not in County Championship.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost like that. Maybe Kent players. Lads are down in the Kent League. Maybe they're England openers. Maybe they should go away and practice for a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, especially if the name begins with a C. Just saying maybe, but hey ho, you're one of them.
I think poor old Zach Crawley, he just looks so out of nick. I've watched him and I just feel for him. I've really enjoyed watching Zach Crawley over the last few years. I think he's taken so much stick from everybody recently, but actually, in the slips, he's been brilliant, and I do love watching him bat.
I would love him to do
out of form, the poor lad. Yeah.
I would love him to do what James Bracey did a couple of years ago. Head into your local Premier League, spend 2 or 3 weeks scoring 100 off 50 balls or something daft, and then come back and get your inform. James Bracey did it for Gloucestershire. It worked for him. Why not? Yeah,
it's tough, isn't it? He's so under the microscope, and everybody's piling in, including me. And it just looks like he needs a bit of a step away from cricket in general and just reset, because he is a talent, isn't he? And everyone kind of sees that. And I think most people want him to do well, and it's just not happened for him this winter. And he didn't have a shocking winter, obviously, but he's had a terrible start of the season.
Absolutely,
and it just looks like the world is against him at the moment. So give Sevenoaks Fine a ring. Looks like they could do with another open to go with Nick and see if he can get a few games.
So looking across the rest of the Kent League, so quite remarkable again. You look across the rest of the league, and not a single fifer and not a single other ton across those 4 games. But some highlights there that you can pick out, Hugh?
Yeah, Hayes, 242 for 3, knocking over Lordswood's 238 very, very comfortably. Will McVicker, 95. He's had a very good knock there. But not a huge amount of resistance from Lordswood's bowlers. Aaron Burridge got 2 for 38 for Hayes, but that was a comfortable win for them. They got 10 overs left. So Bexley bowled out for 188. Varun Anand 54, but not a huge amount else from anyone else. Josh Julian 3 for 20, Ian Carlisle 3 for 39. But it was plenty. St Lawrence and High Court bowled out for just 152 in 35 overs. Nobody really challenging the scorers. Jamie Batten 3 for 20, Oliver Smith 3 for 32 were the difference makers with the ball. Bromley got the win against Minster Sheppey. They batted first, but 227 for 9 on the board, and Bromley got it with an over a little bit to go. Quite a close game. Hyder Zaid 68 off 78 balls. Edward Moore with 50, and Fred Wilson for Bromley got 54 not out, which proved to be crucial. Stan Greenleaf also with a 50. Bill Prideaux, another literary name there, 3 for 36 for Minster, but Marcus Lilly's 3 for 36 on the other side for Bromley was the difference, along with Aditya Kumar with 3 for 40. And then just the Blackheath game.
Oh.
The Blackheath game was a little bit lopsided. Blackheath 2 for 6, and that was plenty. Sid Speller 86 off 110 balls. George Wells with 79. Stuart Drakeley reply for Whitstable in their chase of 216 for 6. They weren't able to get close, but yeah, Stuart Drakeley 73. Henry Goss 55. Matt Golden 2 for 10. Was a nice little spell there off just 4 overs.
Yeah, moving across the coast then to Sussex, where they got underway with a real mixed bag of games as well. And it included the fastest finish of the weekend. So Preston Nomads at home to Horsham. Horsham, who won the title last year, bowled out for 69. And then Preston Nomads weren't messing about, 70 for none off 12 overs, game over. Game lasted less than 35 overs in total. They must have been done by, I don't know, if it was a 12 noon start, they've done by 2 o'clock there, Hugh.
Yeah, Johnson Jenner not getting a bat is a sign that you're doing okay, isn't it? Horsham bowled out for 69, 22 overs. Will Beer, 19 as the top scorer, but Nav Patel, Preston, 5 for 28 off just 7 overs. And then Nick Greenwood, 3 for 7 off 5 overs. Crucial little spells there. Dan Phillips and Archie Lenham, 30s not out. And not a lot from the bowlers who won't be very pleased with their day. Bognor Regis, 3 bridges played. Bognor Regis put up 252, and Taylor Jaycox 51, Ollie Mason 35, but Connor Golding's 4 for 60 was the difference. 3 bridges got it with 3 overs to go, just 3 down. Luke Beaufort 71 not out, James Russell 63, and Michael Cowdery 51 not out. So a comfortable win for 3 bridges in the end, just 3 down. And then jumping down the list, Middleton 262 for 8, Sean Heather 88, and Dill Howell 80. I don't know, is he in relation to Benny Howell, I wonder?
Don't know. I'm investigate that one.
From the right region. And then they were playing Haywards Heath. Haywards Heath bowled out for 193 in 38 overs, so they weren't able to get close. A couple of 40s from Joe Muskell and Ben Matthew, but Luke Smith doing the damage for 3 for 32. Cuckfield put up a big score. Hastings put up a big score of 308 for 7. Harry Finch with 86. But Cuckfield got it really comfortably with 8 overs to go, just 3 down. Omar Yusuf, 145 not out off just 129 balls, and Joe Cambridge out in serious jug avoidance territory off 97 balls. Cuckfield cruising that one. You wouldn't have thought that with such a big total on the board. Nobody really doing a huge amount of damage with the ball, but Joshua Hayward got 2 for 44 for Cuckfield. Just Troy Henry 1 for 50 of his 10 overs. Was the best of the bowlers for Hastings. And then the last game of the weekend there, Roffey, West Chiltern and Fakenham. Roffey 244 for 8, Matt Davis 112. Ollie Whitbread for West Chiltern got 3 for 55, but yeah, West Chiltern bowled out for 140 in 37 overs. Nobody particularly going with the bat. Frankie Cripps 3 for 26, Toby Munt 3 for 24 were the pick of the bowlers.
Absolutely. Got to move up the coast. We're moving quickly to our final league that got started at the weekend in the Essex League. And there were 2 absolute heavyweights came up against each other on day 1 of the season. Brentwood at home to Wanstead and Stursbrook. Brentwood, 2024 national champions. Wanstead and Stursbrook, who came runners-up last year in the national T20s. Cracking game there. Wanstead have gone out there and scored 235 all out. And really pleased to see Joe Carson, who's moved from Billericay to Wanstead, taking 5 for 45. He's a Dorset bowler, speedster. Great to see him get going straight away there. And then look who scored the runs for Brentwood to win them that game, Hugh.
Yeah, Will Bottom, 98 not out. They got there with 2 and a bit overs to go, just 4 down. Just looking at the scorecard for Wanstead, they'll be a little bit disappointed with where they ended up. They were really scoring quickly, 80 runs off the 45th over, and then they lost 3 quick wickets to be all out in the 46th over. So yeah, it was a bit of a train wreck at the end there. Looked like they were headed for a much bigger total, and losing those 4 and a bit overs at the end was the difference. Meant that Brentwood were able to just cruise over the line rather than having to put their foot on the pedal to maybe take a few more chances. So big win for them. Joe Carson 5 for 45. Picking the bowlers for Brentwood there, and it's probably his and Will Butman's contribution with match winning. there. Chelmsford backed first, 113 all out. Probably wouldn't have been happy with that, but then bowled Colchester and East Essex out for 87. Joe McGregor was top scorer with just 28. Jack Parris 4 for 16, and Andy Stan 2 for 19. With Chelmsford's pick of the bowlers. Obviously, a bit of a spicy deck there. Darren Eckford for Colchester got 4 for 16, and Joel Anthony Durham 3 for 12. So some terrific bowling figures out at Chelmsford, but they were able to get the win. Then Hutton 249 for 9 and 50 overs. Iron Malik 74, Aussie Elliott 54, and then Epping weren't able to get close. They were bowled out with a couple of balls to go in their innings. But Shari Fuller, 104 off 127 balls, was a terrific contribution there. Nobody else really is able to go with him. And Iron Malik to back up his 74 with 4 for 47 with the ball. Great all-round day for him. Buckhurst Hill, big total, 294 for 5 and 50. Arab Rashid, 140. And Ravi Dayam Devendi, 117 off 154. Did all the damage, really, for Buckhurst Hill. Fives and Hironians weren't able to get close. They finished all out on 210 with 10 overs to spare. Feroz Qureshi, 78, but nobody else doing a huge amount. Arab Rashid, 3 for 21 to go with his 140. So some serious all-rounders doing the damage in the Essex League this weekend. And then Hornchurch, big comfortable win. George Hankins, 140 not out. He's done that before. Hornchurch brought up 282, and Loughton got 173 all out, again with 10 overs to go. Alan Jones with 52, but nobody else helping, particularly Adil Malik, 2 for 29, Sam Handley, 2 for 30. Harry Hankins also got 2 for 32. Lesbourne Edwards, 51 off 70 balls, was also helping George Hankins on the way.
Absolutely. So another champion getting beat there, Colchester and East Essex at the start of the season. Further north, Stone, champions of North, Staffs of South Cheshire, they got their first win after 3 games. So the cream does rise to the top eventually. It's the start of the season. The weather's not there yet for everyone. The tracks are all over the bloody place, to be frank, aren't they? But I want to give a shout out to a game that was very close to us, Hugh. Eckington came over to play at Duffield on Saturday and chasing 224. James Barwise, 122 off 119 balls, but it was only his 3rd game in this country, and he scored 46 in the last 5 overs to take that down. They didn't look as though they were going to win, and I got a message from someone over the weekend saying, "Hey, this is something to look at. This is a guy to keep an eye on during the rest of the season." And it's nice to see those names popping up, isn't it, these new ones?
Absolutely, yeah. But there's also familiar names as well. Looking at the all-rounders, Bryce Parsons for Littleborough, 106 and 5 for 38. Elliot Hamilton, 151 and 3 for just 6. And there's that Arab Rashid, 140 and 3 for 21. But yeah, we had a lot of big hundreds today. Like I said earlier, we had 54 centuries and 45 for us. But Carl Williams was top of the pile. St Asaph, 192 again versus Bangor. Thorne Parks, 176 not out, and Zimmis deploy with a very, very rapid 167 not out off just 68 balls for Ogbrook against Oral. That was brutal, absolutely brutal. And will that be beaten in terms of large innings with strike rates? That is an incredible knock from Zimmis deploy there.
Most definitely. And in the bowlers, we've already talked about Cameron Khan as the best bowler of the weekend, 7 for 19. There was also a 7 for Chaik Hatharasinga for Wimborne in the Dorset League. But I thought what's fascinating in the top bowlers, Hugh, you look further down. Ankit Sharma, 6 for Pudsey. Walter Kinlock, 6 for Spalding. Tobias Toby Bulcock, 6 for Ormskirk. Seb Boats, another 6 for Wallasey. The names are coming back, aren't they? You can just see that, again, it goes back to my favourite saying, cream rises to the top. The class is there. And I think Tom Sefton took 4 in the Liverpool League on Saturday as well. So you just see that all of these guys are getting form, aren't they?
They also get double the amount of overs, some of these boys, than the others. I mean, Cameron Khan with his 7 for 19 on just 5 overs.
Absolutely.
Is pretty special, isn't it? But yeah. Chaik Hatharasinga, 7 for 20 off just 8 overs, and Jacob Cumming 6 for 10 off just 5 overs. So yeah, all these long form cricketers need a bit longer, don't they, to take their wickets? But yeah,
they take it. That's the main thing. Hey, we've come to the end of the show. I'm going to put a report out on the website for the National Club Championship. Some brilliant games. There's a last ball win for one or two people. You've got 160 for Evan Williams from Horwich, 7 for William Thurkill for Bishopston. And some of the games that are going forward are monumental. And as we all know, I went on about it. I went to see New Farnley versus Hoyland Swain at the weekend. Absolute classic. It swung both ways in terms of who was going to win it from start to finish. And did Hoyland Swain take it the way they should have towards the end? I'm not 100% certain. Did New Farnley bowl the way they should have? I'm not 100% certain. But at the end of the day, the result was there. New Farnley won by 10 runs. And the 97 that Steve Bullen got, so important. And Mr. Samit Patel tried to guide the tail from Hoyland Swain there, but just couldn't get there. But I've got to give a shout out to one player. First time I've ever seen him live in the flesh. Adnan Ghani for Hoyland Swain. What an absolute beast of a bowler he is to watch. He had the ball on a piece of string going in both directions, and then when he came out to bat, I think it was either his first or second ball went into right over the trees. He can hit a bloody long ball as well, but unfortunately he won't be doing it again in the ECB National Club Championship. Great weekend's cricket. We're down to the last 64 at the end of May, and then the regional final groups 3 weeks later. So it's moving quickly already, Hugh.
Very good, yeah, very good. And just a big shout out to our weekend tie in the Cheshire League, Cheadle, Bramall. Bramall batted first, got to 10, and then Cheadle needed 25 off the last 3 overs. Sorry, 26 off the last 3 overs, not 25. Couple of no wickets there, a real good chase. They were 9 down as well, both sides 9 down when they finished. So yeah, it could have been a real shootout there. One ball either way would have made a huge difference. So great result there.
Is that 3 weeks out of 4 we've had a tie?
I think we have, yeah.
Yeah, not doing bad, are we, this year then? So, sorry, a little bit short this week. We've all got things to go and do, but great weekends, Premier League cricket. We just need one weekend, Hugh, where the weather is good across the country.
Yeah, that's all right. We don't mind, do we? We don't mind. It's been pretty good. But I think there's been some brilliant games, and the season started really well. And there's just been a lot to talk about already, isn't there? So long may it continue. We've got a few things that might be coming out fairly soon in Cricket Paper and other places, so look out for those. We've got a few discussion points to share with people, and I've been floating a few ideas across the country and some receptive ears. So yeah, look out for those in the Cricket Paper and possibly in Wisdom going forward.
Absolutely. And just one quick shout: listen out for this Friday's overthrow. It's a cracker. We're talking about something that's never been done before, and it's a new idea, and you're going to love it. So enjoy that when it comes out on Friday.
That's it. Good stuff.
Cheers now.
Cheers. Bye.